So good afternoon, all of you. So good afternoon, all of you. We welcome you to this very interesting talk on the impact of technology on the food and beverage retail supply chain of today's world. To conduct this talk and to let us understand this better, we have with us here Mr. Kaushik Roy, who is the founder and CEO of Biryani by Kilo, a very, very popular QSR chain, which started off from Delhi and has spread its wings across multiple cities now. Kaushik has been in the QSR business right from the year 93 when he passed out of IHM Bhopal, and he has worked in various roles before he started off this own company in the year 2015. Kushang is here with us also. Kushang is the founder of Supply Note. Kushang passed out of the IIT Kanpur, his Bachelor of Science in 2015, and immediately went into becoming an entrepreneur. He launched his first venture, which was Adure Cup, which handles inventory supplies. And Kushang will, of course, tell us better about it. And then in 2019, he started off Supply Note, which is the platform that we are going to discuss today, how it helps the F&B retail business. Kaushik, over to you. Can you tell us something about where Biryani by Kilo is today, how it has been? It's been a fantastic journey and a lot of hard work, I'm sure, put in by you and your team.
So thank you for, first of all, having me on board along with you. And it's a pleasure to meet you after so many years. So, and you made me sound ancient, obviously. I've been 27 years in the industry. So it's been a long time. And as you rightly said, I quit my corporate job and started Biryani by Kilo 5 years back, along with my partner, Vishal Jindal, who joined me later. So we started with a very small one outlet operations in Gurgaon. But from day one, I think we were very focused that we will serve fresh dum cooked biryani, which was a category not so popular as it is today. 5 years back, probably we were the second or third player in Gurgaon at that point of time. But very clear from day one that we will deliver premium dum cooked biryani to people's home, and we started one outlet. Had a lot of technology built in from day one. People used to mock about it, saying इतना छोटा outlet में तुमने इतना technology रखा हुआ है. I had a ERP from day one, live tracking of orders for customers 5 years back when we started off. And cloud kitchen is a concept that was not very popular, or rather it was the term was not coined at that point of time. There were no cloud kitchens, but it came out of a necessity because I was very short on cash. And I've been in the food retail for a long time and seen failures happening because of locations. So I wanted to make sure that this is an area where I can't go wrong because it's only one outlet. So I said I will deliver good food cooked home, but it will be through a hidden kitchen. That was the term I used myself. And then people started following the cloud kitchen concept because it started doing well. And obviously rental, one of the biggest challenges for the industry, was taken care of. So that is how we started off one. Now we have close to 40 outlets across 20 cities, out of which 16 are in Delhi. Rest are, we've covered most of North now. So we are in Punjab, all the popular cities in Punjab. We are in Jaipur, Lucknow, Kanpur, Raipur. We've just started in the East. So Patna, Bhubaneswar, we've started. Kolkata also we've started.
Fantastic.
In the West, we are in Mumbai and Pune, close to 10 outlets between the two cities. So that is how we're expanding. So we'll keep focusing on the West and the East as of now. North, I think we are very much covered. So it's been a fantastic journey from one outlet to 40 outlets in 5 years' time. A lot of hard work, as you rightly said. I probably took my first off after, I think, 300 days or 500 days. I still don't remember when I was the first off I took.
I think it was more like 500 days. I remember talking to you after about a year and a half, and you said I had not taken a day off.
So I have not taken a day off. So I think that was the first time I took a day off after 500 days, and I was so that is the kind of hard work it has gone in. But it's been a wonderful journey. Yes, there's been huge support from friends, family, who's obviously stood by me at that point of time. And now we have a 1,000-member team, 20 cities, as I told earlier also. So I look forward to be the number one biryani player in the country very soon.
I'm sure. So Kaushik, tell us something about your challenges in initially starting the business from like you said, you kind of over-engineered it out of your own experience. What were the challenges that you faced with regard specifically to supply chain, vendors, inventory management? And so then as you grew, from 1 to 5 Correct. Outlets is the toughest, and then one kind of...
Correct. So I think for me, I have been a bit lucky because I've been in the industry, so getting vendors was not so challenging. So I think if somebody wants to get into the industry for the first time, it would have been a big challenge. But I had a kitty of vendors who used to supply to me in my previous organization that I was working. And so they were willing to extend. So for example, we take our masalas from BKL, which is one of the largest manufacturers of masala, Domino's, KFC, you name it, and each brand.
Right.
So my friend heads the Horeca segment. I said, my quantity is hardly 50 kilos a month. Will you deliver to me? He said, in your case, I will deliver. But I'm sure a guy who's starting scratch and coming into the category, he would have huge difficulty in procuring 50 kilos of masala from a standard supplier. You will have to either make it on your own or do some other jugaad that I would say. Similarly, the rice that you use is raw basmati rice from Dawat. And Dawat, my consumption currently is around 15-20 tons a month. But I started with 200 kilos. But I still took it from Dawat because I had huge contact. I had good contact connects with Dawat, and they were willing to supply. So as I said, it probably in my case it was not so difficult. But somebody who's trying to get in this space fresh without any contacts in the previous organization or with vendors who are relevant to our industry will face a lot of challenge. But I did face challenges. So these are the two examples I gave you where I didn't face a challenge. But the challenges that I also faced in spite of being in from the industry was the fresh or perishables. That is one of the biggest challenges that I faced because in our case, the meat is the most important product in a biryani. And sourcing meat is one of the biggest challenge, and I still face it today. The prices fluctuate a lot. There is no consistent pricing. The quality fluctuates a lot. And if the meat is not good, biryani is written off by the customers because that is one of the most important ingredients, the rice and the meat. So rice you can standardize because there are a lot of good players in the country who give you standardized rice, the kind of rice that you want, the kind of basmati, the size of basmati that you want. But meat, I don't think there is anybody still in the country who's be able to give you the meat at a consistent, at a decent price that you want. So I think that is one of the biggest challenges I would say we're facing. And second is that the vegetables and fresh. Ajay can probably correct me. I think you'll also know. I think these are the key areas. This is the dairy, vegetables and meat. I think is the bigger challenge in sourcing rather than items that have longer shelf life. That I think is a little bit more easier to.
Dairy becomes a little controllable now with the number of players. But vegetables and non-veg continue to challenge any restaurant owner today.
Just to give an example, there's a COVID time, mutton, which was around 550 rupees a kilo, went to 900 rupees a kilo. Yes. How on the earth can we justify that price of mutton in the biryani? We had to take off mutton biryani items completely from the menu during the COVID times. For 3 months, we had no mutton biryani in the biryani because I could not sell it so expensive. It is not possible to sell that biryani.
Yes.
So we took it off from the menu.
The problem in the F&B retail business is your reputation is as good as your last served order.
Correct.
You can't compromise on quality. It is better that's an intelligent decision, very, very valuable advice to all listeners. It's better to take an item off the menu rather than compromise on the quality.
So there are two reasons of taking. One, I would not be able to buy that thing and I would not be able to sell it the price which will make money for me, first of all. So if for a time being, I increase the price and sell, customers will perceive me to be very, very expensive, which is not the case. So I would rather not sell something like that. And if I cut corners and take low quality meat and still sell it on my menu, I would not do that to my customers. My ethics would not allow me to do that. So I think it's very important not to sell something that your ethics will not allow you to sell.
Right. So Kushank, over to you. How do you think that a system like SupplyNote, what are the advantages? And then we'll hear Kaushik is a client of SupplyNote. He has helped to grow his business. You have helped to grow his business. He's helped to kind of, get really involved with the software. But what would you like to tell us about SupplyNote and its benefits to a restaurateur? And somebody not unlike Kaushik. Kaushik has had, of course, the advantage of being in corporate jobs in very good positions. So he was able to leverage that trust built over years with his contacts in the supply chain business, And it is more trust rather than business. Trust me. I mean, I can vouch for it. We come from a very similar background. So what do you think? How does SupplyNote help people who are raw?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Ajay, for inviting us over here. And I would just like to take an opportunity before answering your question to thank Kaushik sir for introducing Biryani by Kilo in our life, such authentic taste. And I'm a loyal customer. My first order outside my home during the pandemic was Biryani by Kilo.
Wonderful.
Along with my presence of my mother. So she allowed me to have Biryani by Kilo because it comes in that container, right? So that was the beautiful part, right? Which I really wanted to mention. So, coming back to the question, so SupplyNote essentially is a platform which is trying to create three important things. Right? The first is standardization in terms of procurement and supply chain management. The second is creating efficiency in the overall costing of a restaurant business. And the third is ease of operation, right? So these are the three key takeaways which we try to give to any brand, right? So essentially during our time when we started the business back in 2015, we started as an e-commerce
platform. Can you be a little louder, please? Kushank, just be a little louder.
Sure.
Yeah, louder, yeah.
Yeah, is it better?
Yes.
So while we started back in 2015, we started as a provider to restaurants, generally smaller to mid-sized restaurants, and we were doing categories which were more around non-perishable categories, right? But what we understood was that in general there are a lot of inefficiencies in the overall process, right? Especially with the smaller size of restaurants, right? And when somebody is starting his own setup for the first time, it becomes a difficult hassle to identify who are the right people to work with, right? So as we grow in our journey down the line 2 to 3 years, we identified the best way to do is to digitize the whole process. And once it is digitized, different processes could communicate and automation could be achieved. And that's what we thrive to do with SupplyNote. So with all our clients, the ultimate goal is to help them connect the different processes in the supply chain, starting from doing inventory to finally doing the payments of vendors and identifying and discovering new products and suppliers who are available in the market, which can drastically affect the food cost of any running operations. And that's what we have been doing, right? So for any new business, it makes them see what is going inside on the supplier side, on the purchase side, what it takes, and overall decision makings, even from a growth perspective, is much more diligent when we are present inside the kitchen, right? And when we are taking that control, I hope we will be able to create more Biryani by Kilo like examples in the country.
Fair enough. So I think I'll come back to Kaushik and to understand more the facets of the whole software in terms of a user. He's a hands-on guy. So Kaushik, what advantages has a tech-based system provided your business? What are the advantages? I mean, somebody like you could have easily maybe done without it. So there must be certain advantages that the tech has given you. Otherwise, like you said, you're so vastly into ops that inventory management would have been done physically, manually, let's say using Excel sheets. So where does this kind of really step into help?
First of all, I would like to thank Kushank for obviously starting SupplyNote. One of the most important things that I appreciate about his team is that they're very proactive, first of all. And secondly, the kind of energy. I worked with a lot of kind of software companies, developers in terms of different format. But I think I like the energy and the excitement that the team brings in, and they're willing to listen to us and making changes which they find it. So there was a huge amount of work that we've done together so far and tried to improve the software that they have. Obviously, we put in inputs from our side based on experience. And as you rightly said, it was very easy for me to manage on an Excel, the inventory, forecasting, everything could have food costs, everything would have been done on an Excel sheet. And we grew up that way. You remember, we didn't have a software when we were in the industry. We still did a food cost when we were restaurant managers 20, 25 years back. So on an Excel sheet or on a piece of paper. So that is easy. But now going forward, what we realize that if you have to scale up, it is not me, I'm going to run the business. I'll have a team below me who's going to run the business. And I should be able to see the key matrix very on my PC or over a mail, which is the only thing that I need to monitor. I cannot monitor one every individual SKU on the menu. It is the outlet manager that is going to manage. He should be given the tools to be able to see why his food cost is going up, what is the wastages that is happening, what items he's over ordering that is getting into other wastages because his forecasting is incorrect that he was doing manually when he was doing his indenting manually. Because the managers has a confidence which is also detrimental to the food cost that कि मेरे को पता है कि मेरे को कितना order करना है. आज Saturday I will order on my own. System should not tell me.
Correct.
So that I think that leads to a lot of wastage in the industry. Because people feel very confident that I've been working, I know my job, I do it day in and day out. I know how much to order on a Saturday or it is a Tuesday if the sales are going to go down. But they don't realize the kind of the artificial intelligence that the software brings it when it automatically forecasts you and you still have the right to override it. Because
absolutely,
the system does not realize that there is a certain occasion that is happening on a Tuesday. So for last averages of a Tuesday, it cannot. So that the manager, obviously, that human intervention is required. But I think the overall 90% or 95% of the job is done by the software. It took us some time. So as I said, it was not me that I was going to run the show. I had people who were managers who was going to run the show and they were the unit heads or the business head of that outlet themselves. They should be able to understand their P&L very well, their food cost very well, and they need tools for that. And people are not very strong in Excel. Sorry. And this UI is very good of Supply Note. It is very easy for the user to understand. It took us, I think, only 15 days to train them. And I've tried different softwares in the past. And I found this much easier to train the people to start using the Supply Note very quickly, be able to forecast their indents based on the sale trends and modify it if there is any specific thing that is happening. They're able to do their petty cash management, which was very difficult to manage on Excel sheet, paper purchase, slips would get lost in the system. So now managing their expenses, that is their petty cash, including raw material purchases under petty cash or things that come from the warehouse, the indenting process, this all got very streamlined. And now to scale up it, because my opening an outlet, it takes me a week's time to train the guy with the new Supply Note software, and we are able to roll out very quickly. So I think that is the kind of advantage that we've seen there.
Sorry, Kaushik. How good is the forecasting system of Supply Note? I think to all of us who are the actual users and operators, as we call it, that is something which has always troubled us. This whole very nicely put by you, the manager saying, "Oh, I know this. I know this because I am in the business for so many years." But I think this whole forecasting has been a very important aspect of the business. And two things. One, how accurate is it? Of course, it needs a lot of background data. And I'm sure you can tell us that how then it helps new managers to fit in faster, of course. Just want to understand the forecasting part of it. Yeah.
Correct. So I think the most easier way of understanding forecasting is the 80-20 ratio. 80% of your consumption is only 20% of your item. So even if you go wrong in a salt or a sugar, a little bit of oil, it does not matter. So if that you overstock, understock, it does not. I think your key items, which is 80% of your consumption, which is only 20% of your raw material in terms of count, that is what you need to get more accurate forecasting. Or high value items like meat or ghee or dairy, which are the more high value, paneer. These are the more high value items. So I think that getting the forecast, because the managers, when they get wrong across the board. So when the software which uses artificial intelligence based on averages if you're ordering for a Tuesday, it will take averages of the last 4 Tuesdays. You have a choice of doing 8 Tuesdays. It will give you that this is your closing stock that is XYZ in hand. This is what you should be selling on a Tuesday based on your old trend. So minus the closing stock that you have, you should be ordering this much into the closest multiple unit of packing. If the packing size is 5 and it says 4, then it will automatically convert it to 5.
Okay.
But then the manager also can use his discretion saying that, nahin, kal there is a certain riot laga hai, or this road is closed, or this is a containment area. So I will not do the same sales as I would do on a Tuesday. Let me reduce it a little bit further. So he still has that power to reduce it further from what the system is telling you. But if you blindly follow the system, on a normal day, it is 99% accurate, I would say. Because your sales trends, on your sales trend, week on week, do not change so much because your first week sales remains the same across the board. When the seasonality changes that happen in the industry, as you know, that there are good months and there are bad months.
Yes.
So good months are which starts from now onwards, October, November, December, January, February. The trends week on week in trend, you will have a 25th December which will behave differently and a 31st December which will behave differently. So that the manager obviously has to adjust. It will not go by the logic. So those are special days that where you need to identify and make the changes. Otherwise, a normal Tuesday or a normal Wednesday, if you're taking an average, you'll be 99% accurate based on the system. And as I said, when managers manually indent, they go wrong across the board, from the salt to the meat. In this, at least you are taking care of your high value items, you're not wasting them.
Okay.
So I think that is the most important part of understanding how the indenting and the forecasting happens. But as I said, it is a tough thing to get the managers to use it. But when they start seeing value over a period of time that their food cost is going down, their wastages is going down, then they start believing the system. It is always difficult to bring in change in our industry for people. It is very difficult to tell them that we start following this. So only this. So we have linked food cost to their incentive or their salary. So obviously, once they see that this is helping them to get to their food cost, targeted food cost, the wastage has gone down. So they take home more money because that's linked to the incentive. They are bound to follow this software. And it's a lot of work when you try and do it manually. Lot of work to do it manually for a 500, 600 SKU item.
Okay. So tell me, this is about the perishable parts. What are all the other types of vendors that you use, Kaushik? I mean, this is just the food vendors that we were talking about. What are all the other vendors?
So other vendors besides the food part, I think packing is another 6-7% of our consumption, which is a huge consumption. Packing. So packing is huge consumption. Uniform is a big consumption. Stationery is a big consumption. So these are the big ticket items besides food. So as you know, the industry food cost is around 35% of your sale and food packing is around 5%, 30 to 5%. So 5% of the total sale is packing material, which is another big area of consumption that happens. And India is still not evolved as many other countries in the packing sector. I think in the last few years, we've seen a lot of improvement, but I think we are still not there as far as the international packing standards are concerned in India.
Correct.
Paper has
standards, availability, packaging, costing, mess.
Correct. So if you get a right packing, the costing is not adequate, is not right. India banned plastic in many states, but we have no paper options. So we don't know how to deliver stuff, but not use plastic. We said we can't use plastic carry bags, the woven carry bags, but there are no strong alternates to the woven carry bags. So the rules have been made to take off plastic, which is, I think, appreciated. We are the first one to implement paper, but we are still not happy with the kind of paper packing that we are getting. They get crushed on the way. Very difficult.
Kushank, here I bring to you the question. How can supply note help this part?
So,
and for a moment, I mean, please consider again, newcomers as well, people who are not as experienced, not as much contacts and kind of research in these specific areas. So how can supply note help this kind of? One was the food part of it. What about the other parts?
Sorry to interrupt. I think, Kushank, one thing that you can do is now, since that you have a good set of clients that is there, I think you can consolidate the raw materials and at least get us better rates as an organization. So my volume plus the XYZ volume, if you can consolidate and aggregate their volumes and able to make a cartel saying that this XYZ, all your clients put together, this is the consumption of vegetables, this is rice, this is meat, because at least 50% of the ingredients are common across, irrespective of whatever category or whatever cuisine you are in.
Yeah,
so at least
biryani guy may use rice in tons, but even an Indian food guy will still use rice in kilos.
Correct. He will use lesser rice. I'll use something lesser quantity, the other guy will be using that in a higher quantity. If you are able to aggregate based on the data that you already have in your system and aggregate that and help us to get a better rate negotiated with the vendors, I think that will be a great help to the industry.
Exactly. So, Ajay, I think Kaushik sir already answered your question. So, we are absolutely thinking in this direction. We are, with the consent of the restaurant, we want to analyze the consumption of our users, and we are working on rolling out a product where people can discover better suppliers along with better rates and better terms. So, one important thing which we really need to understand is that it's not only about pricing. It's about quality and also the terms at which we are getting, as in what are the payment terms, what is the minimum order quantity, what is the consistency of the vendor. So these all things go when a purchase manager is deciding on a seller, right? So chef approval is also required. So with all that understanding, I think we are one of the platforms where we have the utmost data on the purchase side. So we are using all the intelligence to create a list of very, very interesting feature which we are rolling out. We have already integrated the Add Your Cup platform, but we are further improving it to a level that if you are a new outlet or you are an existing restaurant itself and you are adding a new menu item and you want, let's say, let's say a panini bread or a new kind of packaging, and some other restaurant in Chennai using, and you are sitting in Gurgaon, I can give you that option, how that could be done, right? So consolidation, discovery, better price, better terms is what we thrive to provide to our users now. That's our second phase. And we continue to consolidate and work on the features so that even with the processes which are already live, people can see value in that. So that's
so essentially, can I kind of sum up what you are saying, that what you're trying to bring up is a platform where vendors would be available.
Exactly.
As a kind of pick and choose. And of course, one will never do the mistake of trying to pick up a IndiaMart or a Sulekha.com, where there is no guarantees, no sanctity. There is I would say on your platform, there is a method to the madness. There is a vendor who, let's say, biryani by kilo is already using, and therefore you are able to share him to other vendors. Similarly, XY chain brings in another vendor, let's say, for packaging, and Kaushik is able to use that. Talking about so cross-pollination of vendors across your own clients and benefits to the client thereby. And of course, consolidating somewhere, what Kaushik is saying is a little different and far more interesting. Is asking you to intervene on behalf of all your clients together. You know, he said, okay, through the platform of SupplyNote, let's assume 5,000 kgs a day of rice is being sold. Therefore, look, I want this price for all my clients. That's the benefit is
I think wonderful thing. So there are two things. One is the knowledge sharing of vendors and products across the platform.
Yes.
And consolidating the requirements of all the vendors based on SKUs and trying to get better rates from the vendors. I think there's the two ideas that we are talking about.
Even your vendors would love to do that, you know. I mean, every vendor's dream is this, that I sell a similar product to as many people as possible. His efficiency kicks in, absolutely.
So absolutely, Ajay, it's both the points. It's for the smaller ones, it's the discovery, and for all the restaurants which are already functional, it's about reducing their cost prices, right? And that could happen either we becoming the seller by consolidating the demand, or by helping other sellers on the platform consolidate the demand on the behalf of the platform, right? So we are working on both models, and soon we'll roll this out for the users.
Okay. Kaushik, what's the kind of people that you employ in the purchasing, reporting, accounting functions? I have a reason for asking this. Does a software like SupplyNote help you to control that labor cost of those kind of people?
Yes, it does. I think obviously, since we have been having a software earlier before also supply node. So we are very thinly staffed in the purchase and accounts department. Purchase is probably 5 people. Food cost, F&B control is 2 people, which used to be. So after supply node came in from 4, it has gone down to 2 now. So I think 2, that's the reduction that we've seen in the F&B control department. So because earlier it was a lot of manual work and the software had a lot of manual work. With this is getting automated and it's only improving month on month. That is, I see it myself. I'm very happy with that. It's improving month on month.
That's a big plus for you, Kushan.
In fact, one thing that we have done on supply node, Kushan and I was telling Ajay also yesterday, that the outlet manager struggles to make the P&L on an Excel sheet. And he's supposed to make the P&L. Obviously, food cost tak to samajh aata hai, but P&L. So we started booking all expenses of the outlet on the supply node platform, and it will automatically from next month on give the P&L to the manager, saying this is your P&L. The only 2 figures that has to manually fed in is the rental and the manpower cost, which does not go in supply node. Rest are all other expenses of petty cash, conveyance, everything goes through supply node. So 2 expenses, which is a fixed expenses in nature. So that 2 expenses has to be manually plugged in. The rest all comes from the supply node, and the P&L is prepared in the format that we wanted. So next month onwards we'll have this. So that again enables the manager to know his P&L, because he should take 15 days to make his P&L. But his expenses would have come before the 7th. So now by the 7th or 8th, by the time he plugs in, enters all his expenses, the next morning he can take out his P&L from the outlet. Just he needs to call up accounts for 2 figures, rental, which does not change obviously month on month. The manpower HR department will give him the figure. He has just put in 2 figures and his P&L is ready. So that is how we are also enabling managers to be more efficient, understand his P&L, be business head of their outlets.
One more question, Kaushik. Does this software help you sorting out issues between vendors, payables, and our company's accounts? You know, both of us would have struggled for years. The vendor saying, you owe me 2 lakhs. Account saying, no, we only owe him 1.47 lakhs.
So that's a feature which is there. I think Kushan can put in more light. We wanted to have a portal for the vendor whereby they can log in and they can check their own ledger based on what are the bills that has been booked. I think very important. That fight has never ended. Every year on the 31st, when we take a undertaking from the vendor, say, this is your outstanding, and they say, ye bill chhut gaya, ye bill chhut gaya. So to make sure, I think that's there in the pipeline. I think Kushan can say when it is going to go live. But that will help the vendors a lot, where they can log in and check how many bills, what bills, outlet wise, what is their outstanding, how much has been paid and they can. So the vendor has a portal for himself. So if there's any discrepancy,
you tell us then. You tell us.
Yeah. So glad to inform that it's already up. I think at BBK we will be launching the implementation as soon as the call is over. I think I have to get on a call to start the implementation.
You should have had the call yesterday.
Yeah, so the implementation will be done. We have made it live at a lot of brands already, and it is working very fine. You can access ledgers, you can make payments, you can have real-time ledger reconciliation. Now, it is a benefit for the suppliers also. It's not only for the brand कि भाई क्या bill है और क्या payment है. वो supplier का real time पे reconciliation मिलना is a boon. I mean, like for them it's like generally 30 days का payment cycle है, 15 दिन तो ledger match करने में लगते हैं. Sometimes this is what they say. So this solves a lot.
No, also it's a lot of bad blood between accounts and the vendors. They spend a lot of time talking to each other कि sir bill मिला, the account guy keep करने से तो vendor का phone संभालो, मैं काम कर लो अपना. Because there are so many vendors now calling 3-4 times a day to check if my bill has reached you or not. So this makes life very easy.
Definitely. So we are going to solve this. I think this quarter, by the end of this quarter, I think next time we are on a testimonial call or a small conversation, I think this problem will be solved.
Very great.
So I think from what I hear from Kaushik and what I hear from Kushan, Supply Node seems to, if you bring together all the pieces that we've now discussed and all the pieces that you actually have put on the board into practical implementation, my feeling is that it's going to be a real worth it kind of software. Because you see, while the front end has got many softwares today, many kind of POS systems, the back end has always been a challenge to serious operators. And it will become a formidable software, I am sure, with the kind of things that you're trying to do. One of the reasons the restaurant industry honestly is in a mess today is because people have, always had a trailing long back end vendor payment stretching over the last 3 months. Reconciliation happening. That's a favorite word with the accounts. And then the outlet managers being, kind of pushed. Where is that bill? Take out a bill of August. He says, sir, where will I keep a bill of August? Now it is ready, March. So stuff like that.
I'll tell you, before supply note, I must give an example, a very funny example. Always the fight with manager, sir, मैंने bill भेज दिया है, accounts will say bill मिला नहीं है. Then we started maintaining before supply note. We used to maintain a diary कि सर ये स्कैन करके आपको व्हाट्सएप करो, बिल भेजा है कि आपको कोरियर मिलेगा तो आप मुझे व्हाट्सएप कर देना. So you wasted so much of management time in trying to just confirm कि सर बिल मिला नहीं मिला आपको. So पहले वेंडर से बिल कि बिल दे दिया मैंने आउटलेट में. Then the outlet manager will say I have sent it to accounts. Then the accounts will say I haven't got it. So it was a huge wastage of time that you was just confirming one bill for one outlet. Just imagine how many bills each outlet would have received. Now with the scan,
1 or 2 months, then the story will start. Please give a duplicate bill. Then very duplicate bill. That is another story which starts off typically,
So now the scanning feature and all now, store manager is very happy. कि सर चलो हमने चढ़ा दिया, accounts को bill मिल गया. I think we are sorted now.
So fantastic.
I think a very good, just a point, Ajay, actually a very important point for all restaurateurs, all food businesses, to learn is from cases like Biryani by Kilo is to be persistent and believe in technology. A lot of times, people just go on the glory of, how the outlet is looking, how tasty my food is, but they're just ignoring the fact what's going at the back end, the kitchen, how is it operated, how is it managed, where are my ingredients coming from. So that the industry can definitely learn from leaders like Biryani by Kilo and others in the market. So a very, very important point to look at for new.
Absolutely. I agree with you totally. One should not give up a software so easily because there is always a system inertia to implement it. In any company, whether it's a company with 3 outlets or 30, there is always an inertia when you bring in a new software. It's like a new habit, So that's when ownership matters, where the leaders matter, where they insist. And like you said, they need to be persistent about it. And that's when you start getting results after a few months, easily. Absolutely.
It has to be driven from the top, otherwise it will not succeed.
Totally.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. So great, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Kaushik, for taking our time.
Thank you.
Very busy.
Pleasure meeting you.
We shall meet up in person after this.
Yeah.
And thanks, Kushang. So have a great day. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you. Doing a good job. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're doing a wonderful job. We're very proud of the brand. Yeah.
Really proud of it, actually.
Absolutely.
Let's make it international. Just small request from my side.
हो जाएगा sir, very soon.
हो जाएगा, वो भी हो जाएगा.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.